Our study this morning is going to be on the substance and the property of the Father. The substance and the property of the Father. And this one, we are going to base it on Romans chapter 1 verse 20, which says, "For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made." For the invisible things of him, who, the Father, from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Kiswahili?
Kwa sababu mambo yake yasiyoonekana tangu kuumbwa ulimwengu yanaonekana, na kufahamika kwa kazi zake, yaani uwezo wake wa milele na uungu wake, hata wasiwe na udhuru.
Yes. So here, why have we decided to study or to look back or to want to know who is the Father, or what are the substance of the Father? Because when we talk about the substance of the Father, you will find that when you come to Christianity, we have the Trinity. We have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is very important sometimes to understand these three in a deeper sense and to see them, to try to understand them in a mystical sense, to look at the Father in a deeper sense, because sometimes when you say the Father, sometimes it is hard even for a people to understand what's the difference between the Father and the Son. Because the Son, when you say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they are in one Godhead, that is God. And in God, all these three are in God. That's why we have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. So it is important to see the substance of the Father. The substance of the Father, the substance of the Son, and the substance of the Holy Spirit. So, for now, we are going to look at the substance of the Father. The substances of the Father. So here, when we behold the vast circle of nature, that is, when we look at nature, the heavens stretched like a tent, the earth full of wonders, and the deep heart of being, we behold the Father. When we look, whatever we look at, we see the earth full of wonders. We have mountains, rivers, we have planets, we have stars. Anything that we look at with our own eyes, even we ourselves, when we look at ourselves, we are beholding the Father. Why? For all manifestation is the unveiling of his hidden substance. The manifestation that we see is the unveiling of his hidden substance. It is the Father who has been unveiled. Meaning, there was a time when he was hidden in eternity. There was a time when he was not manifested the way we see it. And that's when people say creation. Creation here, you'll come to find that creation is manifestation of the Father, of the hidden Father, of what is in the Father. That's what we call creation. That's what is created outward, and that's what we see with our own eyes. So here, the universe is not God, yet it is a transparent vesture of his being. That's one thing I want you to understand. That what we see with our own eyes outward, we cannot say it is God. But it is manifestation of him. It is a transparent vesture of his being. Transparent vesture of his being. But it is not God per se. Because now, when we come to the study, sometimes when we say that what we see is manifestation of God, people might then say what we see, it is God. Are you getting it? But here now, we are being cautioned. It is not God per se. It is manifestation of his vesture, or the vesture of his being. All that shines, moves, breathes, or endure bears the silent signature of their Father's essence. Everything that breathes, everything that we see, no matter what, no matter how small it is in this world, it has the essence of the Father. The essence of the Father. It has the essence of the Father. Though it's not God itself, but it has the essence of the Father's. It bears the signature of the Father's essence. So the mystics see that creation is a mirror of divine stillness. Every star's a syllable in eternal name. Every motion a rhythm of his will. That means when you come to the universe, when you look at the universe, you look at the star, you look at everything. Everything that we see, starting from the star, the stars are there. We have the planets, we have sun, we have elements. All these are inside the Father. There's nothing which is outside the Father. And they work under the rhythm of the Father. Meaning there's nothing which is outside the Father. It is only that all these things, because we cannot see them, we see fragmentation of things, but all these things, they work together. They breathe the same thing. They breathe life from the Father. All that shines, moves, breathes, or endures bears the silent signature of the Father's essence. We have seen that. So every star is a syllable in the eternal name. That means when we say a syllable, it means every star stands for a certain pattern of what we see. Or what we see, it has a pattern in the star. Every star, no matter the millions, we are going to study, one day we will study the star, the millions and millions of the stars that we see. Each star is a syllable in the name of God. It's a syllable, meaning it has a meaning. It has a pattern. It has why it is there. There's a reason why that star is there. It has a pattern put there by God. It is in the Father. That's what it means here. It is in the Father. So every motion is a rhythm of his will. That means we see the planet moving. We see the earth moving. Everything moves at a certain rhythm. That's why we have never known, when you come to this world of time, you'll find that even plants, they are moving. Why? You'll see that there is the time a seed starts, and there is a time at the end of that seed. Which means, even though we don't see it, that plant has gone a certain circle. It has completed its cycle. It moves. Once it's come out, it moves at a certain rhythm until it completes its cycle. That's what here we are being told. It's only that here we see things moving. We count months, but everything is in a circle. In a circle. It's as if, that's why you see what we see. The world is a big circle. We are in a big womb of things. So, to behold nature, to know nature is to behold the shadow of the unbegotten light. When you say unbegotten light, it is light of nature. Because the begotten light, we shall come and see it, the begotten light, that is the light, the spiritual light, that is the Son of God, is a begotten light. But to behold nature, we use the unbegotten light. That is the visible sun. That means, why do we see what we see? It's because of this sun. The sun is the one which is giving the universe, is lighting the universe. So to know nature is to behold the shadow of the unbegotten light. Which means, why is it shadow? It's because all what we see, we have said, it comes from the Father, but it's not God. Which means, when you say it is not God, it is nature. And when you say it is nature, it is the shadow. It is the shadow of God. It is God looking himself outward. It is like the way you can go to a mirror and you look yourself. That which is your image in the mirror, it is not you, but it reflects you. How about napatana? Yeah, it reflects you, but it's not you. That's the way nature is. That's how nature and the Father, they are related. He sees his mirror. That's why that mirror, it is not him. That's why it is a shadow. It is a shadow. It's not him, it is a shadow. When you come to the universe, I want you to understand this. When you come to the universe, what you see, we have said we have stars. Every star, the innumerable stars are emblems of the Father's infinite powers. The power of God is in the stars. You know, it is hard to understand, but it's as if all what we see manifested in this visible world, the power which works in what we see, it is from the stars. It is manifested in the star. So the stars represent the emblem of God. And that's why you see, we shall come and learn one time and see the difference between the stars and the sun. You will find that when you come to the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, you divide them in the first principle and the second principle and the third principle. When you come to the first, you will find that the first principle is where the power of God is. But when you come to the second principle, you will find that the second principle, it is Christ organizing this power in order for them to give life. So you'll find that when you come to the stars, there is the sun and the stars. The stars has the power of God. But this power of God is going to be organized. There's all the power which is in the sun, it is from the stars. But even though therefore it is from the stars, the same sun is the one which organizes this power again. Just the way Christ does in the second principle. That's how it works. So, the innumerable stars are an emblem of the Father's infinite powers. Each one differs from another in glory. Each one reveals a distinct mode of divine energy. Nasikia? Each one reveals a distinct mode of divine energy. Some are visible to the bodily eye, others hidden in deep firmament, as the manifest and secret work of God differ, yet are one in the abysses of his concept. Though there are so many stars, when you come to the abyss is a fountain, who is the Father, they are one. Though you see millions and millions of the stars, but in the Father, these stars are one. So in the abyss, that is before God has emanated, the Father has emanated himself outwardly, they were one in the Father. But after emanations, there are distinct powers which has been fragmented, given by the Father, so that the world of time can manifest everything that is in the Father. Because everything that is in the Father is in each and every star. So every plant has a star. There's a pattern. That pattern is in the star. That's what I want you to know. Because we are trying to see of the substance and the property of the Father. That's why what we are trying to understand. I hope you are not lost. So, every created quality that we see, that is light, mwangaza, heat, joto, cold, sweetness, bitterness, hardiness, softness, is a stream from one fountain. They all come from the Father. And that's why he says in Romans chapter 11, that 6, of him and through him and to him are all things. So the Father is not divided among his works, nor parceled into fragments of creation. Each property in nature is a facet of his will. Together they form the living prism through which his uncreated brightness refracts into manifold worlds. So all what we see, we must understand it is the Father, and it has come from the Father, and it is even in the Father. Even before creation, they were one in harmony in the Father. That is what I want you first of all to understand. Yet, the Father is not a blind force or a revolving sun that shines without knowledge. Because when we say everything has come from the Father, and the stars have every pattern of what happens, and all what we see, they keep the rhythm of the Father, then we might think that they are like the Father. No. The Father is not a blind force. Though the sun stays where it is. Though the stars, they just give what has been given unto them. But the Father is not like the stars or the sun as we see them. He is not a quality, but the life of all qualities. Kwa hivyo tusiangalie tuseme okay, kwa hivyo the sun it gives life to the plant. Then we think the sun has been conditioned in a way that through that rhythm and pattern it can give life, and what we see, it can make things green. That is through the rhythm of creation by the Father. But the Father, he is not merely a power, but spirit. Kwa hivyo to understand hivyo, he is not merely a power, but spirit, knowing, seeing, feeling, and rejoicing. Kwa hivyo we should not confuse the Father here now again with what we see and think he is like that. No, he is knowing, seeing, feeling, and rejoicing, because he is a spirit, he is a person. One thing we should know, from eternity to eternity he changeth not. All becoming is a shadow of his unchanging being. All becoming is a shadow of his unchanging being. All what we see in creation, it is an image, is a shadow of his unchanging being. Because to him he doesn't change. Though what we see from this world, it changes with the time. It comes and goes. The Father is not like that. He is unchanging being. What we see is the shadow of him. He was never born. That's the Father. For he is being itself. Hakuzaliwa. He is the being itself. Which means all what we see is in him. He is a being himself. He was never born. Even what we call here birth and whatever, all things happened still in the Father. He was not born by anybody. He never began. The Father never began. For he is the beginning of all beginnings. So he never began. He is the beginning of all beginnings. So he never began. Every emanation returns to him. That's another thing. Every emanation returns to him. Whatever has come from him, it must return to him. As a river to the sea. Kwa hivyo, when we see things, they die. To us, we say, that thing has died. But there is nothing, in a spiritual sense, nothing which dies. Things go back to the Father. The word death here, it is just not to exist in this physical world, but to exist in another form. So everything returns back to the Father, because God has things in the spirit and in the physical world. So there's nothing, everything returns to him. In him there is neither growth nor decay, but eternal fullness. Kwake, in him there is neither growth nor decay, but eternal fullness. So we should know all these things. That's what I want us to see. So let us see, before we go on, a dialogue of the Father. That is the soul and the Father. Let us see the soul or the man conversing with the Father, or the soul conversing with the Father. O eternal Father, fountain of all that is, how shall I know thee in thy majesty? Who dwellest beyond sight, beyond thought, beyond name? I look upon the world, and it moves, and I feel thy breath in the motion of all things. Is not all nature thy garment, and every creature the print of thy invisible hand? The Father says, child of breath, when thou considerest the whole of nature and its property, thou beholdest me. That's the Father saying. For nature is a shadow of my essence. Its order, the echo of my wisdom. Its order, the echo of my wisdom. Even what happens, the echo, its order, what we see happening. It is the order which is the echo of his wisdom. Its motion, the whisper of my will. So whatever happens, it's a whisper of God, of the Father's will. Look well upon it, for the heavens declares my glory, and the firmament showeth my handwork. That is Psalms 19 verse 1. It says, for the heaven declares my glory, and the firmament showeth my handwork. That's the Father. Then the souls ask, what about the stars? There are so many that the mind is confounded. Their numbers swallow reasons as the sea swallow a drop. Father, so manifold and various is my wisdom. So you can see the stars and Amwambia, so various, so manifold and various is my wisdom. The way you see the stars, they boggles our mind. But to the Father, they prove his wisdom. Because each and every star is a pattern. It has a certain wisdom in itself. Each star is a spark of my knowing. I want you to get that. Each star is a spark of my knowing. Some shine before thine eyes. Some are hidden in the invisible deeps. Yet I know them all by name. Even the unseen is full of me. And thou seest but the hem of my robe. Are you together? That's the Father telling the soul. So, the difference of the stars and the soul. Then the soul asks, but why, O Lord, does each star differ from its brother? Why are some bright and some dim? Some burning and some gentle? That's what we see in the stars. Then the Father tells him, because my goodness loves to manifest in diversity. That means God is telling him, the reason why there are so many, the Father has seen it good, or his goodness is to manifest in diversity. In diversity here means what? It means that when everything was in the abysses or in the internal before manifestation, we could not have known what is in the Father. But the Father, in his goodness, he has seen it wise to manifest in diversity. That's why you'll find that we have so many types of fruits. We have so many types of animals. And you find that even in these fruits, you'll find that there are even some fruit which looks almost the same. In the color, even the shape. But when you test them, they are different. That's what he is saying. Even animals, you might see animals, they look almost the same, but they are very different. That's why he's saying he likes manifesting in diversity. His goodness loves to manifest in diversity. Even as every soul differs in gift and temper. Just the way the soul differ. That's why when you come to man, when you look at man standing, you can only know him when that man talks. When that man talks, is the only time you can know who he is. But when you look at a man, if we are black Africans, we look the same. We look alike. But there is a diversity, even colors. And that's why you see, no man, when you look at the face properly, looks like another. Even twins, there must be difference. There is some difference. No matter even if they are identical, there must be a difference. So that's why God says, even as every soul differs in gift and temper, so each star holds its own measure of my will. Each star holds its own measure of my will. Which means what we see, and that's why even some people says that each man has his own star. Because the Father here is saying, so each star holds its own measure of my will. So every star produces as per the will of the Father. What is manifested here by the star, what is manifested here is being controlled by the star. And in fact, you'll come to wonder that the same star is the same one which consumes what it has given. I came to realize, so when what star has given, it has finished its purpose with the star, the same star will consume you. They will consume you, whether you like it or not. We shall come and see why when we shall be studying the stars. So each star holds its own measure of will. From this variety floweth the music of creation. Each difference is a harmony. Each harmony a praise. So when we come to salvation, you'll find that the diversity, the goodness or the love of goodness of God is diversity. But when this diversity came, sin intervened. And then this diversity produced what we call enmity instead of love of God, love of the Father. That's why you will find that in this diversity, you will find that some animals are eating others. Why? It is because even though the Father had that love of goodness in diversity to reveal his goodness through love, but what he produced, what came out after the fall, it became opposite of what the Father had intended. Because the world or the manifestation of the Father, because of the fall, it becomes a world of good and evil. Good and evil. So the diversity here, because some have attained to goodness, some to evil, you will find that's why you'll find that some animals eat others. Some animals eat others. That's why we have that variety of things in this world. Then the soul asks, where comes these powers? Light, heat, water, earth, sweetness, and bitterness, hardness, and softness. Are they many gods or one God in many forms? Because, it's what I'm telling you. You'll find that the Father has manifested. But the man is asking here, the soul is asking, then where comes this difference? Because some are sweet, some are bitter. We have heat, like in Africa is summer. We are full of sun all over. But when you go to other places, it is winter. Or leave alone that. There's a time when even here, there is cold and heat. So why heat and cold? Why light and darkness? That's what he is asking. Why hardness and softness? Because some things are hard and some soft. Then the father tells him, all proceed from one source. Zote zinatoka kwangu. From me, who am father of lights. You see, he has said, it is from me, whom am father of light. Nothing stand apart from my power. Nothing stand apart from my power. That means, even that which is evil come from the power of who? Of the Father. Nothing's, you know, sometimes, you know, there's a time when we think, okay, now, when God talk of salvation, and he says he has his sons in this world. Some are his sons, some are not. So men ask, what about those whom you think they are not, who are they? Who is their father? Because every man says, God is my father. It is true. It is true in another sense, in this sense, that all the power of creation is from who? From God. So you are created by the power of the Father. But the difference here is this power is the same which has created the righteous and the wicked. It is the same power. So here the soul is asking, when comes this power? All the Father says, all proceed from my one source, from me, whom I'm Father of lights. Nothing stand apart from my power. All qualities are my expressions. As words proceed from one mouth. Sijui kama tunaona pale. Because anataka kusema, as words proceed from one mouth. That means, when you talk, you now, as a person, you'll find that the same mouth can talk evil words and can talk good words. They all come from the same mouth. Na zinatoka the same mouth, the same power, the same everything. Kwa hivyo huwezi kusema ati hiyo ilikuwa imetoka hii kutoka kwangu, sio nguvu zako, hapana. Kwa hivyo the Father anasema, nothing stand apart from my power, or as word proceed from one mouth. The fire burns with my zeal. The water flows with my gentleness. The air breathes with my freedom. And the earth stand in my patience. Know then, child, that every element is a window of my nature. Every element is a window of my nature. Which means, if you see a mad person, he is revealing a certain nature of the power of the Father. Is a window of a Father revealing himself in that sense. Just the same way, the Father, the same Father, is revealing himself as an elephant. He has turned his power to look like an elephant. He has patterned an animal which is called elephant, And that element has been created by the same power of God which has created man, which has created a dog, which has created everything. It's the same power working. And each and every person is a window of his nature. Meaning, is a window where you can see who? You can see the Father. So the soul is asking again, if I must form an image of thee, what likeness may my heart conceive? Okay, now sasa hapo wanauliza namna gani? If each and every element can form a window, your power in this world is a window where people can know you. So, what about if I must form an image of thee? Because I want to because you created man, God created man in his own image. What likeness may my heart conceive? Then the Father tell him, liken me to the round globe of heaven, which compasses all, yet is enclosed by none. Liken me like a round globe. Yani ni kumaanisha everything that you see, you liken the Father like a round globe, meaning he is take a round globe like this. Everything that is in is the Father, because there's nothing which is outside the Father. There is nothing which exists outside the Father. Sasa namwambia liken him unto a round globe, which compasses all, yet is enclosed by none. He encompasses everything, but he himself is enclosed by none. Which means nothing in this world which can enclose the Father, but he himself has enclosed everything. So, I am the circle whose center is everywhere. I'm the circle, he is a circle whose center is everywhere. Are you together? And circumference, and I'm the circle whose center is everywhere, and circumference nowhere. Within me, the star abide, and thou within them. What does that mean? That's a metaphor. When he says, I'm the circle whose center is everywhere. He has said, uangalie yeye kama globe. Kwa hivyo, he is a circle whose center is everywhere. Sasa hapa ni kumaanisha namna gani? Where is the center? If the center is everywhere, what does he mean?
Yani kana kwamba nataka kusema ukitaka ukitaka ya kwamba umlinganishe ati kuna mahali yeye anakaa ama hapo hautampata kwa sababu yeye ni kana kwamba yeye ni center lakini yako kila pahali.
Yeah, that means he is saying this. All the elements, everything that you see in this world, he is there. Because each and everything has a center. Si ni kweli? Kila kitu iko na center. Sasa nataka kusema every center that you can think of that is in each and everything, whether an animal, a man, or whatever, the Father is there. So where is the center? He's the center which is everywhere. And circumference nowhere.
Ni kweli. Sababu ukitaka kutafuta ya kwamba nikana kwamba nataka kuleta ile hesabu ulikuwa unafanya the center alafu uanze kutafuta
the circumference.
alafu unapata iko mahali
Iko mahali
fulani.
fulani.
Kwake yeye ukitaka kutafuta eti ako at the point fulani hakuna.
Ukisema, if you are going to look at the circumference, then you are not going to get it, because you will find that if the center, if he belongs to each and every center, yani he has no center anywhere, then there is no way you can measure the circumference, because the circumference you can only start from a point, then you find the diameter, then you find the circumference. But now if he is in each and everything as a center, how can you calculate the circumference? So which means you cannot find him. You cannot find the circumference. No matter how much you try. And that's why when you read Isaiah 40 verse 22 says, he seated upon the circle of the earth. Isaiah 40, 22. He seated upon the circle of the earth. There's a point which says that. Hebu soma na Kiswahili. 40:22.
40:22 inasema yeye ndiye anayeketi juu ya duara ya dunia, na hao wanaokaa ndani yake huwa kama panzi. Yeye ndiye azitandazaye mbingu kama pazia na kuzikunjua kama hema ya kukaliwa.
Yes. Isaiah 40:22 says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out of the heaven as a curtain, that stretcheth out of heaven as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. That's what he says. So to rest in this thought is peace. For what I encompass, Skevi anasema, to rest in this thought is peace. For what I encompass, I also sustain. Sasa nakumaanisha kila kitu ambaye kiko ndani yake, he also sustain. Sasa hapo ndio we need to know that we are being sustained by God the Father. The Father himself is sustaining us because we are encompassed in him. So he is the same one who is sustaining us. That's what he's saying. He's the same one who is sustaining us. Then the soul ask, yet the stars are many, and powers without number. Art thou then divided as they are? So then anarudi kwa stars. Yet the stars are many, and powers without number. Art thou then divided as they are? Then the father says, no, my child. All powers in me are one in another as one power. So the man is asking, if all the stars, each star is a power of its own, because stars are powers, because they are patterns which create, God uses those stars. Then are you not divided? Your power is not divided.
Kwa sababu stars ni mingi.
Because stars ni mingi.
Nguvu zimegawanyika.
Na nguvu imegawanyika.
Naye anamwambia hapa?
Anamwambia hapana. All powers in me are one in another as one power. Those stars are many.
Kwa hivyo the power which is in the star and the power which is in God are one. Hakuna vile zimefanya nini? Zimegawanyika. Zinafanya kazi moja na ni nguvu ni moja.
Though they are divided in order to manifest the visible world, because each star has a power to create something. Though they look divided, but that power in the Father is what? Is one. That power is one. It's not divided. Hivyo ndio namwambia. My love is in my wisdom. My wisdom in my might. My might in my mercy. Each attribute interpenetrating the rest. Think not of me as a parted light, but as the sun itself, whose rays differ yet remain one flame. Sasa hapo tena namwambia sasa, wewe uniangalie mimi. Unajua hapo ndio nilikuwa nimesema, when you look at the stars, they are many. But all the powers, these powers of the star, in fact, I came to realize, you see the sun is so big. And we feel, what we feel ourselves is not the heat of the stars, but we feel the heat of the sun. Of the sun. Why? And yet, all this heat, which is in the sun, is generated by the stars. In fact, even scientists, when you tell them that, they will not agree. Watasema hapana. How? But that is the deep understanding of the universe. That the stars, they comprise the power of God. They are fragmented powers of God. But this power, in order for it to give life in this world, it is a pattern, but this pattern must be reflected by the sun. So the sun has taken all this power in itself, and it has made this power what can I say? This power of the stars has been taken by the sun, and the sun uses the same power to give life unto what we see. So the power, what we see of the sun, that's why you see the sun will never fade. What tunasema, the sun has been working all since creation. Since it started, it has never changed. It is the same. It is because the stars, the one which light the sun, the power in the sun is from the stars. And the Father has said that all this power is mine. And it is what? It is one. The only difference now here is that God has created the star, the sun here, to act like the moderator of this power, so that this power can give life. Just the same way the power of God is moderated by God the Son. God the Son is exactly the same. What we see is a manifestation of the spiritual reality of God the Father and the Son in the spiritual realm. Only now it is a visible realm whereby we see the stars and we see the sun. Then what happens? You see the seventh planet. The seventh planet here is the seven properties of God. So when you come to the creation, you'll find that the seven properties of God here are the one which create everything. That's why you see the sun, the planet here, rotate the sun. Sijui kama tunaona pale. The planet will rotate the sun. And depending of this planet, the distance of each planet from the sun, that's how it's going to reflect or to create the rhythm of creation in this world. That's why you find that in every creation of this world, you'll find that either it has more impression of the planet Venus or whatever, because every planet starts of the 7 properties of God. That's why they are going to revolve the sun. And you find that when you come to the spiritual realm, the sun, Jesus Christ, also anatembea katikati ya nini? Ya 7 lamps. Si unakumbuka pale? Katika the book of Revelation anatembea katikati ya yani makanisa gapi? Saba. It is the same thing, but now in a deeper sense. If you understand these two, you will see the same thing happening in a Christian realm. So, the vision of nature here says, when the soul opens her inward eye and consider the whole nature and its property, then she behold the face of the Father. For all things speak one word, and that word is, let there be light. The mountains breathe it, the seas murmur it, the leaves whisper it in their green silence. Every atom, every wind, every seed is a syllable of his eternal speech. Let there be light. Kwa hivyo tujue hiyo yote tunaangalia ni tuelewe the Father. The Father is not far from any one of us. In him we live and move and have our being. When the eye is pure, the world becomes transparent. When the eye is pure, that means wakati tutaona kabisa, tuanze kuona in a spiritual sense, this world will be transparent, meaning you will see Father in everything. You will see God in everything. You see God in everything. And behind, when the eye is pure, the world becomes transparent, and behind its fragile veil burns the face that is love. So, utakuja kuona, lift thy gaze upward, O soul, and behold the innumerable host of heaven. There shines the eternal wisdom of the Father, countless light woven in living order, each star a sacred thought, each concentration and constellation a harmony of his mind. They are without number and without end, some seen, some hidden, some flaming in majesty, others veiled in darkness, yet all sing the same unuttered hymn. Let there be light. So you can see that these things, we should understand them. That's what we are saying. When man will come to understand these things, because that's what is going to happen to the end of time. The generation which is coming, they shall know these things very well. People have been living this world, but they don't understand the stars, the sun, the trees. They don't even know how they work. But you'll find that when we shall come to know even the plant which belongs to a certain planet and why it is there, then even healing will be very easy. Because we shall know each and every part of our body is connected to a certain, we have the same 7 planets in us. Because we are the microcosm of what we see. God has created man, a conscious. You know what God did? He has created an conscious cosmos. And then he created a conscious man who is exactly the same as what we see. Exactly the same of what you see. And that's why each and everything that we call the stars, you'll find that they are in the mind of man. The mind of man is made by nothing but the stars. Ndio zimejaa, ndio ziko, kila star iko. And that's why you find that the heart, utakuja kuona, our heart is the one which direct our mind. Eric, tunaelewana? Saa hii ukifundisha mtu ukweli, hata umwambie nini, ataenda wapi? Nini tamuongoza? Ni truth ama ni the heart?
The heart.
The heart. That is the sun. The stars, the power, it is in the brain, but the heart ndio itakuonesha. Yani after you have gathered what you want to do, then your heart where it is going to be,
itakueleka mahali na inataka.
That is it. So it is exactly the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. That's how the star and the sun work. That's how the Father and the Son Jesus work. You know, there was a time I was studying about the wild forest and our food. Nataka uangalie vizuri sana with your mind. Uangalie miti kama hii. Miti kama hii kuna kati inapigwa dawa.
Hakuna.
Ninapona ikuli wangu. Mshawahi kujiuliza kwa nini zile miti ziko forest? Ukienda miti ya forest uiangalie inakuanga imeng'ara namna hii. Green. Unataka kuniambia hakuna those insects?
Ziko.
Kwa nini zikulangi?
Hiyo unaweza sema hiyo miti yenyewe iko na kinga yake peke yake. Imejikinga.
Yani miti yenyewe. Na hii ingine inakosa kujikinga kwa nini? Hii wewe unapanda. Kwa nini ile tu ndio bona ile tu ndio unaona iko na kinga, hiyo iko na kinga na hii haina?
Hapo kuna science. Kuna science kali hapo.
It is because that tree that you see here, hii miti haikupandwa na mtu.
Ni natural.
Nani alipanda hiyo miti?
Hakuna.
It is God himself. Na yeye amesema kila kitu imetoka kwake. And it is his power. But the problem is, wewe wakati umeshika miti unataka kupanda chakula, is not, sio Mungu anapanda, ni nani?
Ni wewe.
What is your intention? Unaipanda kwa nini?
Iwe chakula utumia.
Ingine upeleka wapi? Ukauze. Si ndio? One thing, even when you are planting that tree, there is greediness in you. That tree is not going to give you, is not going to harmonize with the stars. Haita harmonize.
Sababu wewe uko na intention.
Manake wewe uko na intention nyingine. But that tree here it has no other intention. If you look at the animals ikiwa katika forest, hii tunaita monkeys, zina enjoy the best fruit huko. Hazina intention hiyo miti anything, zinakula whatever God has given them. But the moment you plant a tree with a hidden agenda, ukiwa na greediness, hiyo insect inakuja pale inakufundisha wewe you are just harvesting or getting what you are. That's the way you are. Wewe uko hivyo ndivyo uko. Hii kagunyo unaona hii ni wewe. Sasa wewe utafanya nini? Kwa nini hii miti ikikaa pale haiwezi kuliwa? In fact there was a time niliambiwa in fact nakumbuka ni Clement alikuwa ananiambia if you go to Congo forest unakuta huko kuna pineapples original huko zinakuta zimekaa kwa kichaka na zikule na kitu very sweet. Akaniambia kuna coffee trees yeye ananiambia huko unakuta coffee trees ziko kwa kichaka because hata hizi trees zote unaona zimetoka kwa kichaka, binadamu ndiye ametoa. Hii coffee tree ukienda pale unakuta inatoa coffee vizuri sana na ina shida, haikuliwi. Kwa nini? Hii umetoa pale kila saa ni hapa chwa kupulizia. Mkiwachilia ina road. It's because wewe wakati unakuwa na hii kahawa uko na wivu, you are divided mind, ni pesa, jirasi, hata hiyo shamba labda uweua mtu, labda hata utaki kuona ndugu zako. So whatever you are planting there, in fact it is surrounded by evil. That's why that insect immediately ukipanda pale inatokezea, inaanza kukula pale. Tutakuja kustudy hiyo topic uone. Inaanza immediately. Because wewe huwezi kuwa wewe kabisa, umekuwa somebody very different. That's what God has said. All powers is from him. But this power is going to be divided because some is going to be evil and some is good. Si wewe uko na power ya kupanda, enda upande. Shida ni nini? The power hiyo yake unatumia,
it is evil.
It is evil. So what are you going to harvest?
Evil.
So from the moment utaanza kupanda pale, sasa wewe utajidanganya useme ati sasa scientists wamekuja na dawa ati hii insect imetokezea, utapiga dawa. But what is going to happen? You are going to kill that insect, just one.
Na kuna zingine zimebaki.
But umemultiply mambo mingi sana. Wewe unaenda science, unakaa kwa barabara tu, unakaa miaka yako yote unasomea kaka kitu kamoja tu, lakini hao kamoja ukiua, you have killed even the life of that plant. Haiwezi kukupatia vile ijakupatia, lakini utadanganya mtu ati saa zimekusaidia. Hakuna kitu kimekusaidia, wewe ndio umejimaliza.
Na labda hii insect yenye umeua, kuna vile ingesaidia hii mumea tena kuiwekea mbolea.
Yes.
Ama kuna insect, kuna dudu zingine hapo ingekuja ikule hii iwe mbolea kwa hiyo mumea.
So that's why you see the Father is saying here that all power is for me. The all power is for me. Every star differeth in glory, and from their distinction of flows, the thousand diversity of earth, in the crystal of one star, the metals are conceived. In crystal of one star, the metals are conceived. Even metal. In another, the flowers draw color and scent. Hata hizi color unaona zote. In another, the soul receive her temperament and fire. So the divine will diversify itself into infinite patterns of one goodness. That is the Father. So all what we see, this is the Father. This is the infinite goodness of the Father showing himself the way he is. But because of sin, things have changed, and that's why things, they are as they are. So we are in this topic. It's a long topic. It has a lot because it shows you even how you can know the Father. It goes deeper, many things. But I cannot discuss them, all of them. But I just wanted you to see how the Father is, so that when we talk about the Son, that is Jesus Christ, you'll know the difference between the Father and the Son. You'll see the difference, because here we were looking at the power of the Father. Then we shall come and see the wisdom of the Son. That's why you find that the Father and the Son are one. The same power which is in the Father is the same power which is in who? In Christ. So we shall come and see the difference between now the Father and the Son. How do they share this power? And how do they differ in their manifestation? Because the same thing that has been manifested, you find that everything, it is through the power of the Father. But at the same time, we come and see that though it is through the power of the Father, it is the wisdom of God, of Christ, which has made it so. So without the wisdom of God again now, that power cannot give out what we can see. We shall come and see about the Son next time. Let us look on something different, so that if you don't have any question, let us look at something different in order to help us, because